one of the great problems in IVF that we've had actually for the last 35 years that I've been in the field, since the beginning, is that we really don't know which are the most viable embryos. Now that sounds very odd, but actually the reality is only about 30% of embryos produced either after natural conception or IVF are actually viable to produce babies. So when an embryologist is looking at embryos under the microscope, maybe they've got 6, 7, 10 embryos, they have no idea which one is going to be the one that makes a baby, or at least has the highest potential to become a baby. But what we do know is that probably half of them will not have the potential to make a baby. But why is it that that's the case? Well, we know now, for example, from a lot of research, that about half the eggs and embryos that a woman and a couple produce are chromosomally abnormal. That means that the chromosomes are the DNA that basically make us who we are. And on those chromosomes is all the genetic material, about 30,000 genes. So if we're missing a whole chromosome, or we've got an extra chromosome, it causes problems. If you have an extra chromosome 21, you will have a Downs baby. If you have chromosome 1 missing, for example, the embryo will not even implant in the womb. If you have problems with other chromosomes, they may implant in the womb and miscarry. So the bottom line is that at least half the embryos have a chromosomal problem, but it's the largest single cause of IVF failure and miscarriage. We have what we now believe is breakthrough technology to enable us to rank the embryos as to whether or not they've a high or a low risk of being chromosomally abnormal using fantastic time-lapse imaging technology. We can now culture our embryos in what we call a super incubator. This new incubator is a closed system, and it has microscopes inside that take images every 10 minutes. So instead of over a 5-day period of culturing embryos where we'd normally get one look at the embryo per day, 5 images, we now have over 5,000 images over a 5-day period. We've done a lot of research and related this to babies that have been born to now tell us quite extraordinarily that the embryos that have chromosomal abnormalities will reach certain stages of development very differently to those that are chromosomally normal. So we can now look at these images without even touching the embryos, it's non-invasive, without even disturbing them because it's in a closed system. And we, using special calculations, algorithms now, we can predict which embryo has the highest potential for giving the couple a live birth and which have the lowest potential of giving a couple a live birth. And because we've now based this work on babies that have already been born, we now know that we've had an uplift in our live birth rate of 56% uplift over our conventional already high pregnancy rate. So for us, this, we believe, is a paradigm shift in the way we're going to practice IVF in the future.